Policy, NEP 2020. When I talk about National Education Policy, NEP 2020, the topic which I am going to deliver today, that is assessment reforms in India. As sir already given the introduction, myself, Professor Pratik Taude from Vidyalanka Polytechnic, Electronics and Telecommunication Department. So let's start with the session now. So basically, when I talk about national education policy, it is very important how the scenario is changing in today's world. In earlier days, it was something like students write the paper and whatever inputs they are giving from their side, output the students get. But now there are so many techniques like cooperative learning strategy. There are various different types of assessment. We can give them quizzes in terms of multiple choice questions, or we can give them one sentence answer. So you can give the question and student will write down the answer in one statement. That is also possible. We can have true or false questions. So there are many different types of exams which we can conduct once the topic when we deliver to the students, so that we will come to know how much students have understood from that particular topic. Introduction. So when I talk about reforms, reforms in assessment have been a subject of serious disclosure. Now, basically one question arises, why do we feel the need to reform the assessment procedure? So there are various different criteria. Orientation and perspectives have undergone change. When examination need to be conducted, that is also one of the most important parameter which we have to consider. Since last 1.5 years or 2 years, because of COVID pandemic situation, everybody was taking online lectures for the students. The exams also be conducted through online mode. And in national education policy, we are going to consider what are the various different parameters which we have to consider in terms of assessment for the students' benefit. How often they should be conducted, when exams should be conducted, what approaches should be adopted for the assessment procedure. All those things we are going to consider today, which is very important in National Education Policy 2020. Reforms. So when I basically talk about reforms, there are various important rubrics or parameters. We have to consider reports. There are various different commissions, policies, national curriculum framework, testing, either it could be regional, national, ASER, scoring, grading, that is also very important. And agencies are also very important. Either it could be CAB, PAROK. PAROK is very important in national education policy. That is NEP 2020 and CBSE. Bringing reforms. So while reviewing, looked at the general education as a whole, it was not possible to bring about the revolutionary changes in the field of higher education without making changes in the secondary education. So basically, when I talk about national education policy, basically there are various important parameters which we have to consider. To be more precise, reforms. So either there could be reports, there could be commissions, as I have already mentioned. Now let's discuss about committees and commissions. So there are certain various commissions, all right. The first one is Sadler University Commission from 1917 to 1919, Hartog Committee 1929, Radhakrishnan Commission UGC 1948 to 1949, Mudaliar Commission 1952 to 1950, Kothari Commission 1964 to 1966, National Policy of Education 1986, Plan of Action 1992, National Curriculum Framework, which is being introduced in 2005. And right now, in today's world, we are talking about New Education Policy or National Education Policy, to be more precise, 2020. Now let's talk about Sadler University Commission. What exactly it talks about? Basically, it is made a critical and comprehensive survey of educational problems of secondary, collegiate, and university education in India. recommended that dividing the line between university as a secondary courses should be drawn at the intermediate examination rather than matriculation. After clearing the intermediate examinations rather than matriculate examination, the students would be entitled to enter the university. Now you are already aware that 10th standard basically we call it as a secondary board, SSC, and then students go for 11th or 12th, or they go for medical, or they go for engineering. And so basically either whenever they want to pursue diploma or either engineering, they have to do, some of the students also undergo through diploma for 3 years. But national education policy says that now 10th standard will not be a SSC board, but it will be something else that we are going to discuss today shortly in consecutive slides. Intermediate colleges should constitute courses related to arts, science, engineering, industrial educations, etc. So that is basically Sadler University Commission, which was introduced in 1917 to 1919. Now let's discuss about Mudaliar Commission. In 1951, the Central Advisory Board of Education advised the central government to appoint Secondary Education Commission under chairmanship of Dr. Lakshan Swami Mudaliar, then Vice Chancellor of Madras University. Also known as a Secondary Commission, the aim is to prepare students for university education. Now, this is very important. Whenever students are taking education in a particular school or university or institute, it has to be a quality education. It should not be something like just students are coming and teachers are teaching a particular course in a particular department. No, it is absolutely no. There has to be a quality education. To study the examination system at secondary level, we are not able to develop the qualities like cooperation, discipline, and leadership. Development of democratic leadership, vocational skills, personality, leadership qualities, SWOT analysis, that is also very important. Strength, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. So that is all about Mudaliar Commission. Now I am going to discuss regarding cooperative learning strategies also. So it will be beneficial for all the teachers whenever you are preparing for a particular lesson in 1 hour, what different strategies or innovative pedagogy techniques which you can implement or adopt so that your session can be delivered smoothly within 1 hour, and students also will enjoy a lot during that particular 1 hour. And you can take the feedback also from students, the topic which has been delivered within 1 hour or 45 minutes. Then there is a next commission, Radhakrishnan Commission UGC 1948-1949. Implications for examination reforms in higher education. Recommended examination essay types questions will be supplemented by objective type and oral test. So it would not be something like descriptive answers, but there has to be objective type of questions, that is multiple choice question. Now again, multiple choice or objective type of questions we can do using Google form. Then there is a Microsoft form which we can create. Then there is a Kahoot app. Using Kahoot app also we can take objective type of question. You can do making learning awesome using Kahoot. And oral test, that is Viva, also you can conduct. So that is basically comes under Radhakrishnan Commission UGC. It is also recommended full-time board of examinations in each university. We are convinced that if we are to suggest one single reform in university education, it should be that of the examinations. Now, what happens in exam? This is very important. Everybody face a problem. Sometimes it may happen that students prepares well for that particular subject or that particular course. But sometimes it may happen that students absolutely becomes blank whenever question paper he gets. So there are various important criteria. What happens to the students in an exam? Tick, eye, full, jaw, time, block, stop, pop, shock, drop, luck, up. So these are the various different types of expressions the students might feel at the time of examinations. But It should not happen in examinations. Therefore, teachers has to take efforts. In national education policy says that. So basically for that particular purpose, NEP 2020 started implementing so that the students should not get fear at the time of examination. Whatever is teachers have taught a particular topic or particular course, a particular subject, he or she should be able to attempt the question paper properly through various innovative techniques and pedagogy implementation. Then there is another commission, that is Kothari Commission 1964-1966. It is a review of general and secondary education, Central Examination Unit 1958, State Evaluation Unit. It is a new concept of evaluation. So basically technique should be valid, reliable, objective, and practicable. Practice is very important. Unless and until practice, if the students are not doing, it may not be feasible or students won't get the output which they are targeting at. So practice is very important. Several important aspects of students' growth cannot be measured through written examinations. So therefore, we have to conduct certain observations, oral exams, that is viva, practical examinations, evaluation at the lower primary stage, higher primary stage, external examinations, common internal examinations, either it could be inter-based or intra-based, improving external examinations, large failures, that is board examinations. So internal and external assessment should not be combined. This is very important. Kindly take note of this. Internal and external assessment should not be combined. It has to be a separate. Either you can do internal assessment or you can do external assessment, but it should not be combined and indicate separately in the certificates. And you can show the record to the students. Yes, on this particular date, internal exam was conducted and this is your score. On this particular date, external assessment was conducted and this is your score, so that the students will be well prepared for that particular topic and he or she will have a confidence for this particular internal examination. Yes, this was my score. For this particular external assessment, this was my score. So whenever in the next month again the same assessment was carried out, there should be improvement and the student will get an approach. The graph should be an exponential. The score should be improved in terms of assessment. So that is all about Kothari Commission. Now let's discuss about National Policy on Education, which was introduced in 1986. Elimination of excessive element of chance and subjectivity. De-emphasis of memorization. Emphasis should be given on continuous and comprehensive evaluation. Scholastic and non-scholastic elements. Introduction of semester system from secondary stage in a phased manner. Use of grades in place of marks. So continuous assessment should be there for a particular practical, but the practical should not be assessed in terms of marks out of 25 or out of 50. Instead of that, you can do grading based on certain rubrics, which will definitely improve the students' performance. That is National Education Policy talks about. National Examination Reform Framework, a set of guidelines to the examined bodies, which would have the freedom to innovate and adapt the framework to suit the specific situations. Plan of action, it was introduced in 1992. At school, decentralization. At university, student performance through letter grades, overall performance through question bank, innovative ideas. So either innovative ideas, you can do open book test, then you can do take home test. So these are the various innovative ideas. You can have a problem-based learning, PBL, you can have a project-based learning, you can have a poster presentation, you can have industrial visits, or you can have virtual tours, you can arrange industry expert lectures or guest lectures for that particular topic. So these are the beyond syllabus activities which teachers should adopt as an innovative ideas for that particular course. I'll repeat once again. You can conduct open book test, take home test, industrial visits, virtual tour, industry expert lectures, poster presentations, which will enhance the knowledge of students. So these are the various innovative ideas national education policy. National Testing Service, it is a quality control, comparability, independent test, formulation of a national examination reform work. The Department of Education World, inter alia, constitute an interinstitutional committee with representations from UGC, NCRT, AICTE, and state level organizations, including Board of Secondary Education. So this was started implementing in 1992, NCF 2005. Assessment should be a way of providing credible feedback on the extent to which we have been successful in preparing citizens for a meaningful and productive life. Competency-based assessment, there are certain areas that cannot be tested for marks. Devise a good and effective open book examination that I have already talked about right now, open book test, negative side effects of competition, self-assessment and feedback. Continuous and comprehensive evaluation, in short, CCE. It ensures not only intellectual, physical and emotional competencies apart from understanding, application, creativity and sensitivity. Evaluation of co-scholastic areas are also essential. This is very important. Diagnostic evaluation. Focus has been laid on personality development. So it is also very important, certain personality enrichment, personality development courses should be organized in a particular institute, obviously from teachers' coordination. So personality enrichment, personality development courses should be conducted. Then value-added courses should be conducted. That is also very important. That is personality development. So all these are various important technologies or innovative ideas. Open book test, take-home test, industry expert lectures, industrial visits, virtual tours, poster presentation, personality enrichment program, value-added courses. Now, suppose I'll give you examples. Suppose if you have a course in engineering college for students, let's say mobile communication in electronics and telecommunication engineering department. So you can conduct value-added course on mobile repairing, mobile troubleshooting, free of cost for the students, so that they will come to know how exactly troubleshooting of mobile is carried out. There should be assembling and deassembling of mobile, which is very important. Students must know how to assemble mobile, how to deassemble mobile, how to identify the different sections of mobile, transmitter section, receiver section, battery, antenna, and so on. So value-added courses are very important. This is just one of the examples which I have given for mobile communication subject. So teachers should identify the course which you are teaching for the students, and you should conduct value-added courses for that particular course. Then there is one of the important criteria, MOOC courses, massive open online courses. There are various massive open online courses, NPTEL, Swayam, Prabhat channel is there. So students should enroll for that particular course as a massive open online courses, as a beyond syllabus activity, so that the students' knowledge get enhanced. That is all national education policy talks about. Now, this is very important. Co-scholastic. What exactly co-scholastic talks about? So let's discuss. This is a hierarchy. Basically, it is classified into three important categories: life skills, ICT, health, and PE. And again, it is further classified into work education, visual and performing arts, and values, literary and creativity skills, scientific skills, organization, and leadership. Now, when I talk about leadership, it is also very important. for your subject or course, you should give micro project or mini project to the students so that there will be a team. You can form a group of 4 or 5 students in a team. In that particular team, there might be someone would be a leader. So leadership qualities get enhanced to the students. So this is all very important. Micro project you can give to the students, poster presentation you can carry out, so that in a team there has to be one leader and leadership qualities get enhanced. So that is basically course holistic approach. Now there are various different challenges of assessment. So let's discuss about what are the various challenges of assessment. Classroom size. This is very important. Individual observations. Sometimes it may happen that generally in a class, there has to be a 60 students. In general, I'm talking about. So classroom size is 60. Implement effectively. So whenever teacher delivers a session for 1 hour or 45 minutes, many times it may happen that how 45 minutes or 1 hour should be well effectively carried out to deliver the session, to teach a course is very important. So implementation is very important. So there has to be a time bifurcation properly. Yes, 10 minutes should be devoted to this, 15 minutes should be devoted to this, and so on. So that time bifurcation is very important and your session for 1 hour or 45 minutes is implemented effectively. Time consuming. Resources are very important. More training to require adequate resources. So that is also very important. When I talk about CCE, micro-conceptualized by parents and teachers, underlying theoretical premise of CCE, inadequate training and orientation, teacher educational programs. The recently enacted Right to Education Act, in short RTE 2009, also highlighted the need for meaningful assessment of children's growth. Non-detention policy 128 2019, amendment to RTE Act partially implemented. Exam stress taking a toll on students' lives. This is very important. Students from various institutes are questioning the government over the sudden increase in suicides among their peers. So these are some of the glimpses of it, of perfection. Assessment reforms in higher education. Recently in 2019, UGC constituted a committee to suggest reforms in current evaluation system. It came out with a report on evaluation reforms. Examination play a vital role and are deciding factor of career choice of students. Ability to pursue the right higher qualifications and determine the degree of knowledge possessed. Higher education in India has been largely examination oriented, test memory learning, etc. They are largely conducted at the end of every semester, every year. Very little focus on continuous assessment. This is very important, as I am telling since right from beginning. Continuous assessment is very important. It should not happen that you are conducting 9 practicals in 9 weeks and on 10th week you are assessing 9 practicals. No, absolutely no. If for 1 week 1 practical is completed, it's teacher's responsibility. Assessment for the first practical should be done in the second week itself. So there has to be a continuous assessment so that continuous progress of the students also teachers can understand. And if any particular query from student arises, teacher has to solve or resolve that particular query on continuous basis, on day-to-day basis. So that is very important in teaching learning process in National Education Policy 2020. It also leads to incentive cramping up of superficial discrete information. Insults students from the quest of knowledge, excitement of discovery, and They are more moments of stress and anxiety for students' joy of learning. Preparing students to work towards combined examination is usually based on the question paper, which tests only memory recall as a skill. Now, again, this is very important whenever teacher sets the question paper. Bloom's taxonomy is very important. Remembering level, understanding level of questions, application level of questions. In short, we call it as RUA. R is remembering level, U is understanding level, and A is application based level. So remembering level questions, either it could be definition or certain formulas can be asked. Understanding type of questions, it could be draw and explain. So either it could be a descriptive answer. So if it is a 4-mark question, 2 marks for diagram, 2 marks for explanation. And when I talk about application level of question, according to Bloom's taxonomy, it should be a numerical based question if the numericals are there in a particular subject or a course, or distinguish between comparison. So those type of question comes under application based level question. So this is Bloom's taxonomy. RUA is very important, and all these cognitive levels should be covered in a question paper. Remembering level, understanding level, and application level. I'll repeat once again. Remembering level questions could be something like definitions, formulas for a particular scenario. Understanding level questions, it should be a descriptive type of questions, and application based questions should be in the form of numericals or distinguish between or comparison. So this is very important. Now, why we have not focused on functional skills? This question arises, and for this, NEP 2020 came into existence, or it was started implementing. In short, NEP, National Education Policy. How do you know you can count to a million if you are never done it? Systematic challenges. It exerts tremendous pressure on affiliating universities due to large number of examines, requiring huge logistic support so as to ensure that the examinations are conducted simultaneously. Transportation of answer sheets to evaluation centers, that is also very important. Integration of marks and timely declaration of results. Whenever exams are over, results has to be declared on time. So that is also very important. So all these are systematic challenges. Coupled to these are the issues of malpractice which have impact on their credibility. Why? There is a less emphasis on learning through seminars, paper reading, group discussions, etc. So this is also very important. Whenever in a particular lecture, staff members can give students one of the exercise. Students should visit library, and students should issue a book from library, and whatever teachers are giving questions for that particular topic which has been taught, students have to search the answers whatever they have issued a book from library. That is also one of the important beyond syllabus activity. Paper reading, open book test, take home test, group discussions, that is various important challenges teachers should adopt so that the students' knowledge get enhanced. Assess application skills or skills of higher ability like analysis, creation, evaluation, etc. National Focus Group highlights now we'll discuss, which was implemented in 2006. There should be more varied modes of assessment, including oral, that is viva, group work evaluation. Do not expect everything of everybody in every subject. Choice, either it could be a maths, computation, algebra, financial mathematics, statistics, etc. Flexibility in when exams are taken, 3-year window on demand, enhanced reporting of performance, percentile ranking, school, region, block, etc. Now, this is some of the glimpse. Generally, the mentality of students. 2 weeks before the exam. Then 5 days before the exam, students get stress if the students are not prepared for the examination. If the students are not prepared for the examination, what they will write in exam, what input they will give in exam, unless and until input is not given, what marks or score they will score. So what should be the output? 2 days before the exam, and finally you can see the fourth picture, a night before the exam. So such things should not happen. If teachers and students, if there is active participation from both the sides, and I wanted to tell, if the teachers are taking efforts to teach that particular course through various important innovative strategies in teaching learning process, students will definitely enjoy your course, and ultimately the result for that particular course also gets increased. That is the intention which national education policy talks about. So I wanted to highlight this once again. MOOC courses students should enroll for that particular course. Industry expert lectures, industrial visits, poster presentation, library visit, open book test, take home test. All these innovative ideas should be conducted for students. Reduction of examination stress. So basically, when I talk about examination stress, it has to be reduced. It reduces the length of the question paper. Questions that require students to draw from more than one area of the syllabus. So basically, there is a shift emphasis from short answers to multiple choice question. That is, in short, I call it as objective type of question. Shift emphasis on testing competencies and away from memory. It also eliminates of the term pass or fail and permit repeated retakes. Pass marks are just no arbitrary cutoffs, but actually measures the attainment of desired competencies. Now, attainment is also very important. Now, in today's scenario, national education policy, we have National Board of Accreditation, NBA, then there is a NAC. So there are various different course outcomes, CO, program outcomes, PO, PEO, program educational objectives, and attainment is very important from stakeholders. When the students pass out, we have to take the alumni from the feedback so that we get the feedback from stakeholders regarding attainment for that particular course outcome, program outcomes, or PEO, that is program educational objectives. Board examinations are optional. Learning assessment, LOBE approach. So basically LOBE stands for Learning Outcome Based Education. This was the model which was put forward by Spades in 1988. It advocates the importance of establishing a clear picture of what is important for the students to be able to do, organizing the curriculum, instruction, and assessment to make sure that learning ultimately happens. It also defines the exit outcomes, performance standard, which I have already talked about right now, that is in terms of attainment. Future focused curriculum with a problem and issue based content focus, performing in authentic and real world settings, and promote extensive use of high technology tools and application. It also emphasizes on the importance of program learning outcomes, PLO, course outcomes, unit outcomes, lesson outcomes, program educational objectives, course outcomes. All these are attribution in NBA or NAC, National Board Education, National Board of Accreditation, or NAC, bringing out clarity among students as what is expected from them after completion of the program, and for teachers in bringing focus and what to teach and how to teach and evaluate. So these are the various important criteria: how teachers should teach, how students should adopt the knowledge which is delivered by the students, and finally assessment, that is evaluation. CLO, that is course learning outcomes. These are the narrower statements that describes what students are expected to know and what should be able to do at the end of each course. So when I talk about, let's say, mobile communication, basically it's a course. So in mobile communication, there are various important, suppose if there are 5 chapters or 5 modules, there are 5 course outcomes, so that whenever the first chapter or first module gets completed, what exactly students have understood from that particular chapter. Similarly, for the second module, third module, and so on. So there are course outcomes. So basically, course is nothing but the subject, and program is nothing but a department. Either it could be electronics department or electrical department, computer engineering, information technology, etc. Course learning outcomes are basically measurable, attainable, and manageable in a number. They should contribute to attain PLO in such a way that each CLO should address at least one of the PLO, and each PLO must be reasonably addressed by adequate number of CLO. In short, course learning outcomes. PEO and PLO. PEO, that is program educational objectives, it should be consistent with the mission of the institution. That is very important. PLO should be based on graduate attributes of the program. Graduate attributes are the attributes which are expected of a graduate from program in terms of knowledge, skills, attitude, and values. Program learning outcomes lead to design and development of curriculum containing multiple courses with specific objectives. Course learning outcomes and respective course competencies and its indicators are further derived from course objectives. Program learning outcomes may lead to one or many different competencies, and each competency may have one or more measurable components. In short, we call it as indicators or performance indicators, PI. So this is one of the peak. Reference is also mentioned, UGC 2019 Evaluation Reforms in Higher Educational Institution. Now let's talk about NEP 2020, the session which I am delivering right now. Basically, it came up with several reforms in education, including assessment. Assessment must be continuous to include both formative and summative components in timely fashion for continuous feedback. On 11th September, while addressing conclave on school education in 21st century, Prime Minister Narendra Modi announced to establish a National Assessment Center, PAROK. One of the significant reforms has been the establishment of a National Assessment Center, PAROK. So this is very important. Whenever teacher wants to do assessment, it should include both. It should be a formative assessment also and summative assessment also. And to be more precise, PAROK should be considered. It should be taken into consideration. Now let's discuss what is PAROK. National Assessment Center will be established to improve the overall evaluation system, and PAROK stands for Performance Assessment, Review, and Analysis of Knowledge and Holistic Development. I'll repeat once again. PAROK stands for Performance Assessment, Review, and Analysis of Knowledge for Holistic Development. It is an independent and autonomous institution under the Department of School Education and Literacy. It emphasizes on providing quality and industry-related education. Now, it is very important students should get industry hands-on, so that if there is a gap in curriculum, whatever they are studying in theory, they should get knowledge from industry as an hands-on. Students should know how employees are working in a particular industry so that the gap can be minimized. So that is the intention or aim of PAROK. So industry related education is very important for the students. Therefore, I was emphasizing industry expert lectures, industrial visits should be conducted from staff members to the students' benefit. Basically, this denotes a standard setting body for all the school boards approved by the new education policy 2020. It is said that there are almost 60 odd examination boards in the country. PAROK proposes to move school boards from high-stake examinations towards holistic assessment. This is very important. You can make a note of this in your notebook. If you want, PAROK stands for Performance Assessment Review and Analysis of Knowledge for Holistic Development. Also formulate guidelines and recommended appropriate tools for conducting such assessment from the foundational stage to higher education, entrance exam, to ensure equitable access and opportunities for all learning disabilities. It also guides the State Achievement Survey and the National Assessment Survey or National Achievement Survey. It also felicitates all school boards to shift their focus towards meeting the skills requirement of 21st century. National Testing Agency will work to offer a high quality common aptitude test as well as specialized common subject exams at least twice every year. So this is very important. When Parak started implementing in national education policy in terms of assessment, basically every year at least twice subject exams has to be conducted. So either it could be a summative assessment or either it could be a providing assessment, or we can say formative and summative assessment. NTA testing services will be enabled most universities, common entrance exams, fellowships, which is very important. So in most of the universities, NEP 2020 started implementing. For example, I wanted to give Sharda University, Greater Noida. NEP 2020 already started implementing. And consequently, in almost all institutions and universities, in few years, National Education Policy 2020 will be implemented. So this is one of the glimpse or picture. I'm sure I'll be promoted this year. This is the student's intention. If the students does not want to study, he might be under the impression that yes, I will get promoted and I'll go to next academic year. But my teacher said either I go or she goes. So that should not happen. Students should not be promoted. There should be active participation from students as well as from teachers. Do you have an idea for your project yet? Suppose if micro project topic is given by the teacher for the student. So generally, many times it may happen that topic is given for the student, but the student say, no, I'm waiting for inspiration. Motivation should be given to the students. There has to be a literature survey. Student has to do a literature survey. If they stuck up in between, they should contact their colleagues or their teachers so that the query or resolve issue can be resolved. I always say if you don't know the answer, just keep asking until you do. So this has to be adopted. Unless and until students, if they are not understanding, we have to take the efforts to teach that particular topic to the students. So this is all about assessment techniques, to be more precise in national education policy in higher education. Now I will stop sharing the screen and now I'll play a video on cooperative learning strategy so that all the teachers and students will get benefit from it. So now I'm sharing the screen. Just kindly organizers do let me know once the screen is visible and video is audible. I hope screen is visible.
Sir,
it is loading, I think.
Yes,
it is
yes,
loading,
yes.
right? Yeah,
yes,
okay.
Sir.
Just have a patience, it will load soon.
Dear colleagues and students, I Pratik
I hope it is audible, sir, and visible as well.
Yes, sir, it is audible.
Okay, yeah, thank you so much. Everybody watch it carefully.
Tavde, lecturer in Electronics and Telecommunication Department at Vidyalankar Polytechnic, Vadala, Mumbai. Welcome you all to this session on cooperative learning strategies. After completion of this session, the learners will be able to define cooperative learning strategies, explain elements of cooperative learning, differentiate between cooperative learning and collaborative learning, describe various cooperative learning strategies, discuss role of teachers while implementing cooperative learning strategies, describe role of students while implementing cooperative learning in classroom, list benefits of cooperative learning. Now let us discuss what is cooperative learning. Cooperative learning can be defined as structured, systematic instructional strategy allowing small heterogeneous groups to work together to achieve common goal. Elements of cooperative learning. Cooperative learning is a very systematic and structured approach towards group learning. It is based on 5 fundamental elements. These 5 fundamental elements are positive interdependence, individual accountability, group processing, small group skills, and face-to-face promotive interactions. Positive interdependence is the first essential cooperative learning element. It is a heart of cooperative learning. Learners must believe that they sink or swim together. Individual and group accountability is the second essential cooperative learning element. It means the group is accountable for achieving its goal and each member must be accountable for contributing fair share in order to achieve group goal. Group processing is the third essential element of cooperative learning. Group processing should be practiced in order to keep the track of how well the group has achieved its goals and further to maintain effective working relationships with group members. Small group skills is the fourth essential element of cooperative learning. Small group skills are required in order to function effectively as a part of group. Face-to-face promotive interaction is the fifth essential element of cooperative learning. It focuses on group members promoting each other's success. Now let us discuss about difference between cooperative learning and collaborative learning. In cooperative learning, group members work together on given task or problem or an specific assigned roles. During cooperative session, facilitator can move between groups, observe the group interactions and intervenes if required. During cooperative sessions, generally facilitators sum up the session and at the end, groups either report briefly the discussions conducted in the group or submit a report of group activity for comments. In collaborative learning, group members are asked to organize their efforts and decide amongst themselves the role to be played by the group members. Also, facilitator does not monitor the groups actively. In collaborative learning, students work on the work assigned and submit on final date. Cooperative learning strategies with classroom arrangement shown in the form of diagrammatic representation. Various cooperative learning strategies are corners, fishbowl, inside-outside circle, jigsaw, numbered heads together. Also, round table, team word webbing, think, pair, share, three-step interview, mix and match, etc. shown in this in the form of diagrammatic representation. Description, benefits and purpose of each cooperative learning strategies explained in the next slide. Corners. Each student moves to a corner of the room representing an alternative. Students discuss within the corners, then listen to and paraphrase ideas from other corners. Fishbowl. A group of students are chosen to discuss a given topic. The rest of the class watches, listens, or records the transcript of the discussion. A secondary discussion occurs concerning the outcome and process of the first. Reflection spot. The learners can write down the answer for the question as read the statements given below and identify the element of cooperative learning. After writing down your answer, you can click on the next slide. Inside-outside circle. Students stand in pairs in two concentric circles. The inside circle faces out and the outside circle faces in. Students use flashcards or respond to teacher questions as they rotate to each new partner. Jigsaw. Each student on the team becomes an expert on one topic by working and sharing with members from other teams assigned the corresponding expert topic. Upon returning to their home teams, each one in turn teaches the group about his or her expert topic, works well for acquisition and presentation of new material and review. Numbered heads together. A team of 4 is established. Each member is given numbers of 1, 2, 3, 4. Questions are asked of the group. Groups works together to answer the question so that all can be verbally answer the question. Teacher calls out a number, for instance 2, and each 2 is asked to give the answer. Round table. In teams, students take turns generating written responses, solving problems, or making a contribution of the team project. Team word webbing. Students write simultaneously on a piece of chart paper, drawing main concepts, supporting elements, and bridges representing the relations of ideas in a concept. Think, pair, share. During the first step, individuals think silently about a question posted by the instructor. Individuals pair up during the second step and exchange thoughts. In the third step, the pair share their responses with other pairs, other teams, or the entire group. 3-step interview. Students interview each other in pairs, then pair shares the answer with adjacent pair. Mix and match. Description, benefits, and purpose is explained in the slide very well. Kindly have a look of it and write what are the advantages and disadvantages technique. After writing down your answer, you can click on next slide. What would be role of teacher in cooperative learning? As Spencer Kagan puts it, teams will manage social skills and PIES through structures. Session planning using Jigsaw as a cooperative learning strategy prepared by me, which is shown in the presentation. We have already discussed about what will be the role of teacher in cooperative learning. Now let's understand what will be the role of student in cooperative learning. During cooperative learning, teacher assigns specific roles to the learners. In a cooperative group, students may perform various roles such as taskmaster, checker, encourager, elaborator, recorder. There are various roles of students as well: quiet captain, questioner, summarizer, spokesperson, timekeeper, etc. Read carefully what is the description for each role. Benefits of cooperative learnings are not only academic benefits but also psychological benefits as well as social benefits. Team pair solo is also one of the example of cooperative learning strategy. In team pair solo, first students working in teams, secondly student working in pairs, and last but not the least, students works in a solo. So with this, I wish you a very happy learning. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay home. Thank you.
Okay, so that is all about NEP 2020 National Education Policy from my side. Over to you, Kiran sir. If any participants wants to ask any questions or queries, we can